Did, which is good. Yeah, we did.
A couple times last night, Mo Williams went underneath that screen, whatever, and Alfred showed no hesitation. He said he's seen it go in hundreds of times in practice, so it's a shot he feels comfortable taking now.
Just continue to see it go in hundreds more and continue to practice that shot, but understand the balance of what we want on each possession and what a team wants to give us.
How long was it after you drafted these two kids that you kind of decided this is how you need to play with up-tempo and use their athleticism and use their energy, youthful energy?
Well, I just think you assess your team every year and what it looks like, what the personnel looks like, and you try to put them in a position to find success. And there's some things we were able to do that we weren't able to do the first 2 years, and vice versa.
You picked up your 21st turnover about the 5:35 mark in the fourth quarter, and then you didn't give it up the rest of the way. What changed in the play? Alfred kind of mentioned how the game slowed down a little bit, but when you go over 10 minutes without a turnover, you're doing something right.
I just think we really valued each possession, and we've been talking about it. You hear coaches talk about it all the time, but it's a reality of really taking advantage of that possession and getting something is much better than turning that thing over and getting nothing.
Did you think that there's such a thing as like an aggressive turnover where a guy is trying to make a play, doing the right thing, maybe someone slides over and takes a charge, and it's kind of a learning point?
No, without a doubt. There's different kind of turnovers throughout the course of the game. There was a play in Philly the other night. Nick was running the center of the floor. Tobias tried to feed him, and it was a turnover. So those happen, and but the ones we can take care of when we don't need the risk factor to be involved in it, then I think we can have a little bit of say in those as well.
How do you work on that over the course of a season or in a stretch of games?
Yeah, that sometimes it's painful. Sometimes those turnovers can cost you a game, and so guys learn from that. We'll continue to stress it in practice, whether the segments we have and taking care of the basketball. So it's an ongoing process for sure.
I'm guessing this is the first time in Aaron's life that he's probably not the best athlete on the floor, the best player on his team. How has he handled, coming off the bench, being a guy who plays 5 minutes one night and 25 the next?
Welcome to the NBA. This is the landscape. This is the way it is. Coaches are going to make decisions to put their teams in the best position to have success, and some rookies get involved, some don't. And he has the opportunity where he can help his team, and he's chosen to do so. You
saw him shoot the ball in summer league, and then the way he's shooting it now. Are you impressed with the work that he's put in to improve that shot?
His confidence is growing. He's putting in the work. He'll continue to put in work, and I think that's the most important part, is that he is working to become a better basketball player.
Was that matchups last night with Channing, and we saw him mostly in the paint, which you don't see him a lot in? Was it mostly a matchup, not getting the ball to him, not getting to his spots, or what did you see?
There's different times, that Shannon helps us. We played him at the backup 5 last night, and so you think about, defensively what guys have to do against a guy who can shoot the basketball, and whether they stay connected to him in pick and rolls, in the post. That's one less defender that we have to worry about on the play. So he helps us in ways that don't show up on the stat sheet, but when you watch film, he's helping his teammates just by his overall space and the attention that he draws.
Both Alfred and Aaron mentioned last night that they're not going to use their age as a crutch. Like you've told them, it's not an excuse, and they don't want it to be even mentioned that what their age is. Is that a message you try to get across?
I haven't mentioned that to them at all, and I think that was a message, that we're not using that as an excuse or crutch. And you're a professional basketball player. This is what you do for a living, and that's what we'll kind of address every day.
With the defensive attention that Nick's getting now, what do you tell him? What do you point out to him to decrease his turnovers and increase the efficiency of his game and the team's game?
Yeah, this is kind of uncharted waters for him to be double-teamed multiple times throughout the course of the game. We'll continue to work on it, and that's just having a comfort level. It's just like putting a point guard in multiple pick and rolls. Eventually, they get comfortable with it. He'll get comfortable as we continue to practice, and he faces double teams, and he'll find a comfort level.
What are some challenges that the Nets propose to you guys for tomorrow's game?
Well, they're healthy. They got Lopez back in the middle. His ability to post up, shoot as well. Darren Williams coming off a great game. His ability to shoot the basketball, get into the paint. And they have still one of the best players who can just flat out score the basketball in Joe Johnson. So physical team, and not even mention the Hall of Famer and Kevin Garnett. So a lot of things we have to work on today.
There's definitely an age difference there between the Nets and the Magic. Do you look at that and say, hey, young guys, come here, look at what these guys can do. You can learn something from them.
I'm not really huge on using other people as examples for our guys. For me, is you do your job. We're concerned about us, and that's kind of the message.
What is the status on Kyle O'Quinn? I know that he's been questionable the last few games. Is he still day-to-day questionable?
He'll be out for the next game.
Okay.
Back in the day, how did Jerry Sloan treat young guys? How did you rookies? What did you got from him?
The biggest lesson that I learned from Coach was you let guys figure things out sometimes. For me, I was in the rotation, not in the rotation. I started some games, wouldn't play for 10 games, play the next 10 games, and it made me extremely tough mentally. It challenged you to figure things out. I believe that, and that's a lot of from those lessons, that you give guys answers all the time. They'll keep depending on that. I want guys who in the offseason can go to the track and do a workout by themselves and not have 3 or 4 other guys with them pushing them. Those are the lessons. Those are the kind of guys we want.
So in other words, a guy, Aaron, whomever, was out there struggling a little bit, instead of maybe sending to the bench right away for assistant coach to pat him on the head or whatever, you let him stay out there and go through it?
Well, you figure guys out too. Guys tick differently. And so being able to push a guy, but not let him fall over the edge also. And so that's a tough balance as well. But being able to let him figure some things out, whoever that person may be, but also help him along the way. So it's a little tug and pull.
Been on the guy.
Yeah.
Kyle is out tomorrow, but he is going to travel with the team on the road trip, correct?
He will not travel initially with us.
Initially, okay.
We'll stay back, let him get some rehab here in our facility. Hopefully that helps him get back to 100%.
Okay.
That's it?
Good deal.